Hammock Street Church Kids Ministry. We are so glad to have you guys tonight. I have a fun story for you guys tonight, but let's first get started with worship. So go ahead and stand to your feet and let's worship God.
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Whoa, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you, I worship you. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Whoa, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you,
awesome. Thank you so much, Lizzie, for leading us in worship tonight. It's always so much fun. All right, so tonight we are going to be talking about when we serve. When do you guys think that we can serve? Anytime. Literally anytime during the day we can serve God, whether it's at home, with our families, with our siblings, at school, when we're out playing on a playground. We can serve God anytime. So I have a fun story to help us remember tonight, okay? Okay, so this story comes from Acts 18, and it's about two people called Priscilla and Aquila. Paul left Athens and went to Corinth when he met a man named Aquila and his wife Priscilla. Aquila and Priscilla had recently left Rome and now lived in Corinth, where they worked as tent makers. Since Paul was also a tent maker, he stayed and worked with them. Each Sabbath, Paul would go to a synagogue, a special building where Jews met to worship and learn about God, to teach people about Jesus. Sometime later, Paul, Aquila, and Priscilla stayed in Ephesus. So a man named Apollos also lived in Ephesus. Apollos was a Jewish man who preached about the scriptures. He was a good speaker, and people liked to listen to him. He taught people about Jesus, but he did not know everything that happened to Jesus. He only told people about the time when John baptized Jesus. Apollos spoke boldly in the synagogue. After Aquila and Priscilla heard him, they took him aside and explained to him the entire story of Jesus and everything that happened after he was baptized. When Apollos wanted to go to Achaia, the believers wrote a letter urging the disciples there to welcome him. He was a great help to those who believed because he was able to debate with the Jews in public, using the scriptures to show that Jesus Christ is the Messiah. So Paul traveled all around the world telling people about Jesus. And just like Paul, Priscilla and Aquila did the same thing. They started traveling and telling people about Jesus. So this is a good reminder that you don't have to know everything. So just like Apollos, he didn't know all the details and the entire story, but he had faith and he trusted God and he spoke boldly and told people about God. So you don't have to know everything. I don't know everything, but when you're bold in your faith, God will use that. So Priscilla and Aquila were able to bring Apollos in on more details and help him. So even though you might not know everything, still be bold in your faith and trust that God will still use you. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys a couple questions now to help us remember this story. So how did Paul know Aquila and Priscilla? Okay, so the answer to that was they were all believers and they were also tent makers, which is someone who makes a tent. Who was Apollos? He was a Jewish man who preached and spoke boldly about God. In what ways did Priscilla, Aquila, and Apollos serve God? They served and taught other people about Jesus. So what ways can you guys serve God and who can you do it with? Just like Paul, Aquila, and Priscilla worked together, who can you do that with? Okay, and last question, when can you serve God? This is an easy one. All the time. Okay guys, I'm gonna end in prayer and then we'll head out for the night. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this day and thank you just for this story, just as a good reminder that we don't need to know all the details. We don't need to know everything, and we might not be able to answer everyone's questions, but you could still use us and we can still serve you and share your story with other people, God. So please help us to be bold and to just share our faith with people. I pray that you'd let us have a great night. In your name I pray, amen. Cool, thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys this Sunday in Big Church. Have a great night.